And Mike, great to have you back here on NewsWire. And, I guess I asked you, I think it was probably last week or the week before, is this the end, with Mitsuhara just pleading guilty? And I think we kind of thought it was the end, and now a new wrinkle to this, and I wonder how much more we're going to find out. We're also going to find out what kind of friend David Fletcher was to Shohei Ohtani and his interpreter, indeed, if this story is true.
Yeah, Craig. So the Associated Press reported over the weekend that Major League Baseball is investigating David Fletcher for potentially betting with this illegal bookmaker, the same one that Shohei Ohtani's former translator bet with. Obviously, we know that, this translator is going to plead guilty to stealing $17 million from Ohtani to pay back gambling debts to this alleged illegal bookmaker, David Boyer. Fletcher and Ohtani apparently were close friends. Obviously, the translator would have known both of them from their time with the Angels. So, yeah, Craig, a lot to unpack here, obviously. We know that Mizuhara is going to plan to plead guilty. He could serve up to 33 years in federal prison for a couple charges, failing to file proper taxes, and then the fraud that he stole from Ohtani. So, David Fletcher, like you said, is he a good teammate? Is there more to this story? The federal authorities have cleared Ohtani in this investigation. In the ESPN reporting, it said that Fletcher bet with a minor league player as well. That minor league player bet on games that Fletcher played in. I don't believe Fletcher bet on baseball, I think, according to the reporting by the AP and ESPN, but obviously we'll see on that front. That's certainly prohibited, as is betting with an illegal bookmaker. Fletcher, like you said, throwing knuckleballs in the minors. I think he got lit up yesterday, had a couple solid outings. He was certainly, a speedy contact hitter in his major league career. Transitioned here and now faces this. So we'll see, right? I mean, how long does he play before the whether he's put on some sort of list, prohibited list until the investigation's pending, or they suspend him right off the bat indefinitely until it's over. We'll see. I don't know how the MLB Players Association, how that works. But, they're clearly, like you said, Craig, we're not done here. Baseball wants to be done with this. Ohtani is the face of the sport. But now here we have a former teammate and apparently close friend tied to the same investigation that the interpreter is under. And I think they met the illegal bookmaker at a poker game. I think Fletcher and Mizuhara met Boyer at a poker game in San Diego in 2021. So a lot here. We'll be following it. Certainly, I know, obviously, the major outlets will as well, who have dominated the reporting here. So, yeah, Craig, a lot to go on, and you hope that Ohtani's cleared if you're baseball. Maybe we don't worry so much about Fletcher. It's fine if a minor league guy, contact career hitter, 250 career hitter is, gets suspended or something to that extent. But you don't want Ohtani tied up in this, and clearly this isn't over.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, now we're going to see if Fletcher is forced to talk about this and what comes out of that. College football season is going to be here before we know it. So I think we're like 2 months away from the first college football game, and I'm going to guess we're going to get more clarity on this story before we get there. What's the update? What's the latest, Mike, on this college player prop betting? Because that's really the next big sport here for college sports. You think that in New Jersey that folks are going to be able to bet on this as it gets banned pretty much everywhere across the country?
Yeah, Craig, that's the question, right? The NCAA has continued to come out with press releases. I think it was Friday they put out a release that said 1 out of 3 high-profile players deals with harassment from a betting-related activity, whether it's a losing bettor or somebody wanting to put pressure on them to hit whatever prop bet they're trying to bet. So that's why the NCAA wants to get rid of this thing. And then I think we saw another interesting reporting from ESPN with help from Legal Sports Report that a lot of these major universities have not shown their student athletes kind of what the penalties are criminally if you're caught doing any sort of illegal betting. That's something Matthew Holt, now with IC360, the integrity monitor, formerly known as U.S. Integrity before they merged with another company. He had talked about this, that just, hey, it's your college career. You're not a pro athlete. Maybe you want to take a shot because you don't have the money. But at the same time, in some states, it's a felony to do this. And athletes should know that, or at least be made aware of it, right? You hope when you do these education programs, they're enough. Obviously, they weren't in the past. I think athletes were confused, especially at the pro level. Hey, what can we bet on? Why can't we bet at the training facility? All these kinds of questions. Now you have college athletes who are 18 to 22 years old, not only getting harassed, but then not understanding potentially at some of these schools, if I bet and I get involved in some sort of criminal investigation, how long can I go to prison? I mean, that's something you would want to tell athletes to prevent them from doing this. Yeah, and again, that just goes back to the whole thing with Iowa and the, players betting on their parents' accounts. I think when you're recruiting a player, whether it's the coach, the university, whoever the official is going for the visit, the parents need to sit down too and say, if this kid has an account in your name, or he's betting in an account with your name, that needs to stop immediately. You can't have this. Your son or daughter will lose eligibility immediately. They could be under investigation for who knows what, if it is a federal crime in that state. So, yeah, I think a lot to be sorted out here. And again, with betting kind of in its initial phase, even though it's year 6 since the fall of PASPA, this is something, again, that's going to need to be monitored at the highest levels with integrity. And then certainly education, you got to continue to make this better, make this something that the players understand. So if anything happens, hey, we told you this was wrong,
right.
Not, coming out of left field of where, wait, nobody told me that. I think that has to be something that's solved.
Yeah, and listen, that's a hard dynamic to accomplish, especially in this landscape of sports betting. All right, landscape of sports betting. We haven't had one of these happen in hockey. Here's a first, Mike. We've got a coach saying, "Hey, maybe somebody was betting on the DraftKings account here." We've seen this in all the sports where coaches and players have alluded to this sort of stuff. But here we go. The head coach of the Dallas Stars saying that a goal was disallowed. A little innuendo toward a sports book here. I wonder if a little slap on the wrist is coming somewhere.
Yeah, Craig, this was Paul Bissonnette, who was an analyst at TNT. And it was just surprising given the, DraftKings, for him to come out and say the ref is, and maybe it's rigged. Again, I mean, I know he's an analyst, but maybe not closer to coach or player. But yeah, that was super surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if they tell him, you can't be doing this, right? They don't want that perception out there, and it is there. A lot of people saying these games are rigged, the officials are against us, whatever the case may be. Yeah, this was eye-opener. NHL has not been good on transparency with injuries since taking business deals with sportsbooks, so this is something that, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody says to him, you can't be saying that.
Yeah, I would agree. Mike, great to catch up with you. Thanks for all the great news, notes, and information, and have a great rest of your week. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.